Hi guys, so this is a brief trade recap on a trade I took on Gbpaud on Friday, the 23rd of um, February 2024, right? So first of all, we have to go to the higher time frame, right? I don't want this video to be long at all. I just want this video to be very straight to the point, right? So top-down analysis, right? So this is the daily charts of the British pounds against the Australian dollar, right? So this is the daily chart, and you can see, just give me a moment. Let me get something. All right, so before I continue, I want to show you guys that I actually took the trade. I want to just quickly show you guys my Telegram channel where I actually took the trade. So this is my Telegram channel, right? So you can see the trade I did. This is my Telegram channel, and you can see the trade. Just take a look at it. You can see the timestamp above. You can see the timestamp there, 9 o'clock Nigerian time. You can see the charts, right? I cannot manipulate this, right? This cannot be manipulated, right? You can see when I got into the trade, market was just, you can see the price level. I took the screenshot when I took the trade. You can see my take profits level. But this was my first TP level. I took the trade on 2 accounts. So this was the first TP level on account 1. Then on account 2, I was targeting the Asian high. So I can see I actually took the trade. Then this is when I hit my first TP. You can see where I wrote it down. TP hit on this account, still holding for Asian highs on another account. You can see it's there. And then you can see when this is my second account, right? You can see where I wrote, why be a king when you can be a god, right? So I was aiming for this second take profit on my second account, and you can see that the broker feed is different, right? You can see that the broker feed is different. This is on my another account. You can see GPAUDX. Why this was GX. So there were two different accounts, two different servers, right? So GX was my day funded account, while the X was my flash funding account, right? And see, I was targeting the Asian highs for overall take profit. So I took the trade on two different accounts and had two different take profits, right? So guys, you can see everything the same entry, same take profit, right? And then you can see where price. You can see that I actually took the trade. You can see the green button, right? This green simply means that TP was actually hit. You can see my entry level, right? You can compare it with the charts. You can see the time 24, 23rd, and that. So sorry I had to hide the figures because personally I don't show figures, right? I don't show how much I made. I'm not into that, right? I just show you guys this is how to do things, right? I'm not showing you guys how much I made or this or that, right? I'm not into that business, right? So let's go to the main business of the day. So now this is a trade I took. Now I was watching the GPAUD chart and I could see the market was bullish. Why did I believe the market was bullish? So on the daily chart, number one, you can see that we took out this high, right? So you can see, okay, we have kind of bullish. We took out this high, and this was a bullish market. And then I was looking at the current structure of the market, right? So if you look at the current structure of the market, you can see that we are actually also in a bullish trend. So based on the daily range, you can see our daily range, the intermediate daily range is from here, right, to this point here. So I had this daily range at this point here. So our daily range, right? When a bullish daily range, you can see that this particular order block or this demand zone was not breached. So the market tapped into this demand zone. Why is the demand zone? Because it swept number one. Remember what I told you guys, that a strong or valid order block takes liquidity to the up to the left side and then it breaks strong. So this particular low, it took liquidity to the left side and then it broke above this recent high. So that was what gave me confidence. This is actually was a place to take a trade from. So you can see that, okay, we had a bullish sentiment, right? The overall structure was the daily chart from the bigger picture perspective was temporarily bullish. We took out the swing high, and then from the in this is an intermediate structure. So the intermediate structure was also bullish, right? So I had two bullish, and then another reason was bullish was because I was looking at this level, right? I was looking at this fair value gap level here, right? We had this fair value gap level which has not been traded to. So I was like, okay, this fair value gap level is, if you check the distance between this and this, so there's a kind of tiny fair value gap inside there, right? So okay, so we have a tiny fair value gap between these points. So I was like, okay, if market is failing to break this demand zone, I mean, price will likely do what? Go for this imbalance, right? And also, you can say we also have a bearish order block. So market also has to come and tap this order block properly. So this was actually my POI. I was thinking, okay, if the market is failing to go lower, that means it should run higher, right? So market has hit our demand zone, and then I was targeting, okay, market should come to this imbalance at least, even if you want to sell. And also, if you look very carefully, you can say we have equal highs on this chart. So this is the analysis now. So you can say we have some kind of trend line liquidity. So we have this trend line liquidity here. I had this trend line liquidity forming here. So that was part of why I was looking to buy. I look at this trend line, I was like, okay, this is a trend line. And that trend line is very clear on the 4-hour chart. So go to the 4-hour chart, it's much clearer there. You can see the trend line formed. I was like, okay, market should breach that trend line. So that's what I was looking at before taking the trade. So I think if you go to the 15 minutes chart, that was where I took the trade. So 15 minutes is where I actually took the trade from. Yeah, so this was the trade I did. So I was watching the chart on this fateful day. All right, so this was the 15-minute chart. This was on Friday. First of all, let me put in my Asian range indicator. So I was looking at the Asian range. So markets took the Asian low. This is my Asian range indicator. So you can just go and get it on trading view. Just simply type Asian range. And these are the settings, right? These are the settings of the Asian range indicator. So this is an input. Just take a screenshot of this. This is the settings. My Asian range is between 7 o'clock New York time to 23:59, right? Everything is set at New York time. You can see, you can just take a screenshot of my settings. So just screenshot my settings and put it in your own, right? So you can have the Asian, although I know how to do it manually. So remember that your time zone must be set at New York. So come to this point here, set it at New York. So the Asian range can be correct. So I just simply put my Asian indicator to, or if you don't know how to do that, you can do it manually. You can just simply time what between 7 to 12. So remember, that is the Asian window, the Asian range window between 7 to 12 New York time, right? As taught by ICT. So that's how it taught us our Asian range should be taken. So from 7 to 12 is our Asian range, and so 7 to 12. All right, 7 to 12 a.m. 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. New York time. Remember, it's not Nigerian time, it's New York time. All right, so remember again, it's not Nigerian time, it's New York time. So that is it. So between 7 to 12. So if I take a box here, this is where it's 7 o'clock, it is 7 o'clock, right? So 7 to 12 is where is 12? 12 is somewhere around here. Right. So this is the Asian range. So you can now guess your high and low. So your Asian high happens to be what? This high here. The highest point is your Asian high, this highest point there. So that's our Asian high, that's high there. So that's our Asian high, and to get our Asian range. So this is our Asian range. And then since we are bullish and I was anticipating market to go up, remember I've told you guys that when we are bullish, we expect the market to run below the Asian range and give us a bullish setup. So that's what I call a turtle soup. Remember, I told you guys I was a turtle soup. Let me just show you guys once again my Telegram channel. You can see my Telegram channel, you can see where I called it here. You can see the trader. I said turtle soup buys, right? So turtle soup simply means the market's taking out a previous low or high and then reversing, right? That's what we refer to as turtle soup. So markets gave that turtle soup. Markets went below the Asian range. And if you look very carefully, we also hit a 15 minutes demand zone, right? What do I mean? We have this demand zone here. Watch this. There's also a demand zone here. The market actually hits a demand zone after. Remember, that is the same thing. Remember what we have on the daily chart. So let's go to the daily chart again. You can see we had that demand zone on the daily. So the same thing also happened on the 15 minutes as well. So we had every bullish reason to go up. So we had this demand zone as well, took our liquidity and then broke to the upside, right? So that was the demand zone as well. So if you go to the 5 minutes chart, that was where I got the entry. So on the 5 minutes, you can see I actually got the trade. So on the 5 minutes chart, okay. So on the 5 minutes chart, you can see that there was a kind of market structure shift here. Although on my own chart, market actually closed above it. But I don't really know why it's not showing. So I was like, okay, if market should go bullish, then we have, this was my structural shift. The market went above this, it did not close above, but it validated this high. So that was actually my market structure break because we have taken out of the Asian liquidity. And this was within Q zone, right? This was the Q zone period. So then put in my tool again. So you can see this blue line represents Q zone. So remember to copy my settings and put it in your own platform. So Q zones, I've made videos on Q zones as well. So it was inside my Q zone, my London Q zone window. So my London Q zone window was just there. Right. So time and price were interluding, right? So we had time and price, giving us more confirmation. So this was actually why I took this to as a BS because this was within Q zone. If there was no Q zone, I would not consider it as a break or structure because I like to see price clearly close above a high. But the reason why I counted it as a BOS is because we took out liquidity and then we are inside the Q zone. So Q zone, price looks for any reason to go to its direction. So that Q zone happened and then where was my entry? I had this break of structure here. This was a market structure shift or a change of character for me. So where did I enter? I simply put my limits at the open of this imbalance. So I was looking at this imbalance here. I put my limit at that imbalance. That's why I put my limit at the open of the imbalance. That was my entry at that imbalance open. So I took my long position at the open of this imbalance right there. That was my entry. right there. So you know the drill. So if you are targeting there, your overall TP should be, you put your stop loss just few pips below the low because of spread, right? You have to put your stop loss maybe few pips below the low, and then my target was this Asian high. That was my target, the Asian high here. And although on one account I took profit at 1:2, somewhere around there. Right, this is where I took my first profit on my one account, and then I held my second account to the overall TP. So that market actually went from my Asian low to my Asian high. So I took my entry just after Asian low was taken, and I was targeting on Asian highs, right? So if maybe you like holding trades, right, you can simply also go to a high time frame, look for a high time frame target. So for me, I just want to go to Asian high. So if you want to maybe take a trade based on structural targets, so maybe you have said, okay, this previous high will have been your take profit. So you can just say, okay, this previous high of my overall take profit. So you can target that previous high and price actually hit it, right? So if you target this previous high of overall take profit, that would have been in 1:1:4.8, right? For me, I was just targeting on the Asian high, right? I was targeting Asian high, and that was my trade, right? So if you want more, I mentioned a lot of concepts, Asian high, Q zones, all those things, right? You might not really get it. So if you want to get a better explanation for all this, right, do have to watch my previous videos where I've done that. But if the videos are so lengthy for you to watch and you want a shorter version and a simplified version, right, just do have to sign up for the paid mentorship with the link in the description, right? We go with an annual fee. We don't charge monthly, we charge an annual fee. So you can also use the link in the description with 20% off to join us for one full year, right? So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Share this video with your friends, and I wish you guys the best of the trading week.